What happens when the town decides Yeti Bob deserves a break and they bring in a human babysitter to replace him? This is the story of the new babysitter, where wholesome chaos proves once and for all that Bob's heart is irreplaceable. Bob had been home for only a few weeks, but the parents noticed. He seemed tired. His enormous shoulders slumped a little lower. His eyes still flickered toward the mountains, like lanterns searching for something lost. His voice, once booming like a hearth fire, had softened to a gentle murmur. He carried the children tenderly, played with them warmly, but something weighed on him, a quiet pull no hug could fix. The parents gathered in the square, their lanterns flickering in the night air. "Bob's done so much for us," they said. "Maybe he needs rest. Maybe someone else can watch the kids for a while." The children overheard, wide-eyed and horrified. "But nobody can babysit like Bob," they cried. The fox whined in agreement, its bushy tail wrapping tight around Bob's ankle. Still, the decision was made. A new babysitter would arrive tomorrow. Her name was Miss Pringle. Tall, neat, with glasses perched firmly on her nose and a whistle that gleamed like a tiny silver sword. She had babysat dozens of children in the city and prided herself on order and discipline. "Children need structure," she declared, hands on her hips. "No more giant tea parties or bedtime chaos. It's time for rules." Bob tilted his head, puzzled but polite. He stepped back, letting her take charge. The children groaned. The fox ducked behind Bob's shaggy leg. From the edge of the woods, the cryptids peeked out. Curious, wary, eyes glinting like lanterns in the dark. Miss Pringle clapped her hands sharply. "Line up, single file. We begin with proper posture exercises." The children shuffled reluctantly into place. This was going to be very different. The day began with drills. Sit up straight, walk quietly, fold your hands neatly. Snack time meant measured apple slices on paper napkins, not pie mountains stacked higher than a child's head. Story time was read in a stern monotone, every word crisp, but without silly voices, no roaring dragons, no wiggly tickle monsters, and worst of all, no cuddles. The children fidgeted. The fox gave a pitiful whimper. Even the mimic cryptid couldn't help itself. It yawned loudly, stretched its mouth impossibly wide, and began repeating her flat voice until the kids collapsed into giggles. Miss Pringle frowned. "Children, laughter is distracting." Bob, concerned, tried to help. At snack time, he lumbered in with pies so large they covered the entire table. At playtime, he gently scooped children onto swings and, with one enormous paw, sent them soaring sky-high with joyous shrieks. Miss Pringle shrieked in turn, "That's far too dangerous!" But the children laughed so hard their joy echoed through the village like bells. Every time Miss Pringle tried to impose order, Bob's clumsy kindness brought chaos, and the children loved every glorious moment of it. By afternoon, Miss Pringle was unraveling. Her perfect bun had wilted into loose strands, her whistle dangled uselessly from her neck, and her glasses slid crooked across her face. The children were sprawled in a happy heap, bellies full of cookies, heads resting against Bob's furry arms. Bob sat among them, humming a low, soothing tune that rumbled like the earth itself. The fox snoozed in his lap, tail twitching in dreams. Miss Pringle threw up her hands. "This is impossible! They don't need a babysitter, they need a miracle!" Bob tilted his head, offering her one of his oversized cookies. She hesitated, then nibbled it. Her shoulders dropped. She sighed. "I wanted everything neat and perfect, but maybe children don't need perfect. Maybe they need Bob." The children cheered, piling onto Bob's arms until he looked like a mountain of laughter and tiny limbs. The fox barked happily. Even the cryptids, lurking just beyond the trees, gave solemn little nods. Before she left, Miss Pringle gathered the children. Her voice, though weary, was softer now. "I came to teach you order," she said, "but you already have something more important. You have love, laughter, and a guardian who would do anything for you." She turned to Bob and smiled gently. I could never replace that. The children hugged her goodbye, their small hands squeezing tightly. Bob bowed his head in gratitude, and for the first time, Miss Pringle laughed, an honest, bubbling laugh that made the cryptids grin from the shadows. As she walked away, she called back, "Take care of them, Bob. You're exactly what they need." That evening, as the stars glittered like frost across the sky, Bob sat outside the town. The children slept peacefully nearby, Fox curled close to their sides, the night quiet but alive with crickets. The winged cryptid fluttered down beside him, glowing faintly, wings stirring the grass. Bob whispered, his voice heavy with doubt, "They called me irreplaceable. But what if one day I must leave again?" The cryptid hummed a low musical note as if to say, "Then they will carry your love, always." Bob gazed toward the distant mountains. The call was faint tonight, no longer urgent, but still there, waiting, watching. He sighed, placing a giant hand over his heart, holding the children's laughter close inside. For now he was home. For now that was enough. The town had learned an important truth. Babysitters could bring order, rules, even structure. But Bob brought something greater. He brought love. And though shadows still stirred in the mountains, for tonight the town rested easy, knowing their gentle Yeti was by their side. If Bob's irreplaceable heart made you smile, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more Yeti-sized adventures.